Greetings, beloved Princeton United Methodist Church community. It's Pastor Jenny with another update for you. I'm going to read scripture from Luke chapter 9, verse 17. It's from the story of the feeding of the 5,000. You might recognize it. And all ate and were filled. What was left over was gathered up, 12 baskets of broken pieces. This is the word of life. Thanks be to God. Now, this is one of the miracle stories, one of the few miracle stories that happens in all four of the Gospels. This Sunday, we are continuing our series, God's Time to Shine, looking at Jubilee living, being a Jubilee community, becoming a Jubilee community. And we're focusing on abundance this week. Michael Reed, who is the executive director of the Maker's Place, who we've been partnering with over the past few years in Trenton, is coming, and we're going to preach together about abundance. Abundance is one of the values, abundance community, abundance living and thinking is one of the values that the Maker's Place was founded on. And he has a lot of things to share about this with us and about how to catch glimpses of it. This is something that's very difficult to live in all the time, but we can catch glimpses of it, and it can move us and open us and make a difference, not just for our lives, but for the world around us. The thing I would love for you to be pondering and thinking about this week is the connection and the difference between saying you are enough, we are enough because God is enough, and we have enough because God is enough and has enough and has given us enough. We say, of course, that first thing, the being enough part, every week in worship. It's different, though probably connected to having enough. And so I know that it's really hard for us most of the time to be convinced at every moment of every day that we are enough. It is likewise hard for us to be convinced every moment of every day that we have enough, especially because there are times when we actually don't. And there really are needs and wants. That is different than the reality of our being enough. The being part doesn't change, even though we might feel like it does. The having part actually can, and there really are people and communities in this world that are lacking in resources and in funding and in food security and housing and all sorts of things that we can go on and name. So I invite you first to think about what happens. Do you tend to be a person who thinks that you are lacking in enough stuff? And I don't just mean material things or financially. I also mean things like time or energy or ideas. Knowledge, know-how, those kinds of things. Scarcity thinking, which can be the opposite of abundance thinking, can show up in all sorts of ways. So first, how do you think about it for yourself? But also, how do you see it in the world? And how do you look, because most of you who are watching this video are coming from a place of having a fair amount, right? Most of you who are watching this video do not live in abject poverty. And so you have enough food to eat on a regular basis. You have housing, you have a fair number of things. Sometimes when we come from that perspective and look at communities that really don't have enough financial or food or material resources, things can be broken apart in some significant ways. And there's a lot of helpful, good stuff that can come out of that and connecting together. I think it's actually essential that we who tend to not live in poverty find ways to connect with communities of poverty in deep, mutual, meaningful ways. It's hard for a lot of us to do that. But it's also important to do that with a lot of self-reflection and understanding of what's happening in us. What are the values that we bring to that? What are the shoulds or the assumptions that we make about communities that tend to not, we tend to see as not having enough. And how might abundance thinking and living transform relationships, transform our actions and behavior in our communities, in our relationships, even within our Princeton UMC community. So that's a lot of stuff. We're going to unpack that more on Sunday, but I invite you into thinking a little bit more about that in the few days between now and Sunday. On Sunday, too, one of the reasons that Michael's coming at all is that he and I together nominated Lori Pantaleo for our Greater New Jersey Annual Conference layperson recognition for this year, and she received it. So we're going to celebrate Lori some on Sunday, and I hope that you've read the May, our PUMC May newsletter. There's an article about her and about that and about the ways, some of the ways, there are many ways that she embodies abundance living and that same kind of mutuality that I was talking about a moment ago. She has much to teach us and much to offer, and has gained much too. That's part of the mutuality piece. But I hope you've read that. We're going to celebrate her and we're going to lift her up. On Sunday, Michael's going to do that with me together. That is a great joy and an honor for us to have that celebration among us. The other thing I wanted to share with you is that this week, but after you watch this video or after it's being sent to you, our reopening team is meeting. And I hope that next week, when I send you a video, that there will be some really concrete, more clear things that we can share with you about what to expect, what's coming over the next couple of months as we reopen our building for a number of things, for just daily office things, for small groups, for ministry team meetings, should they want, for outside groups, for worship. And a lot has happened, a lot has changed in the past 2-3 weeks, and it's come really fast, and we are doing our best to catch up and keep up. I ask for your continued prayers, for clarity, for wisdom, to stay focused on our values as a congregation as we make decisions that really affect a lot of people. So look for more about that next week, and keep us in your prayers and your thoughts. And if you have insight or expertise around any of this, or have learned things in your own world, family, business, whatever it is that you're involved in, let us know. We would love to hear and learn from you as well. Blessings. See you all very soon. Take good care.